Hey there, so I thought today we could have a chat about craft fairs. Have you done one as an artist maker? Are you thinking about doing one? Does the idea completely freak you out? Well, I did my very first craft fair just the other week, and so I am coming to this from a perspective of doing a craft fair as an awkward person and how I got on with that. So if you have that little nugget of awkwardness in your soul, I'm hoping maybe hearing my experience about it, maybe it can help you feel like you can still do it despite being awkward and not knowing where to put yourself. You can still find a way to tick that experience off your list and know that you can do it. Now, I already recorded this one time and I waffled on so much and it was just too much. So I have cut it down to a few main points and I'll pop timestamps down below as well. So if you want to skip to particular ones, then you can. By the way, if you're new here, hello, welcome. Thank you for stopping by and for checking out this video. I really hope you enjoy it. And if you are a curious creative who wants to see future videos, then I do hope you subscribe. Anyway, let's get on with today's agenda: awkward craft fairs. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is choosing the craft fair that you are going to have your first experience in. This was important for me just because it kind of helped me quiet that nervous energy a little bit. I had so many questions that were stopping me from even trying this in all the past years that I've thought about it. This time I came across a craft fair organiser who had a really clear, nice website and who explained lots of things on that website. There was like frequently asked questions. There was a clear call to action where you could put your email in so that you could get the application form. It kind of spelled everything out really early on so that I could digest that and think about it before taking that next step forward. And for someone like me, and maybe like you, that was really helpful. When you have to try and find where the fairs are and try and figure out who the heck the organisers are, how much it's going to be, all of those nitty-gritty things, when they're organised a bit more informally perhaps, and it's through kind of Facebook groups that you're trying to find contacts and things like that, I think that's great when perhaps you're a more forthright kind of person, or that you are a bit more into the game of going to craft fairs. But for me, I didn't know how to reach out. I didn't know how to find the people that I needed to find. The idea of phoning people, no thank you. I don't want to do it. I don't want to contact people before I know if I definitely want to do it. Does that make sense? It really helped me to have that really clear website kind of situation going on. And a friend told me later that it was perhaps one of the sort of more expensive fairs that I could have done for my first one. But even so, I was happy to do it because it had that really easy way of booking it and organising it and being able to make that choice with all of the information at my fingers so easy. So I guess what I'm hoping you'll take away from that little pile of waffle is that you should choose a fair which fits your soul for that moment. You know, choose something where you feel comfortable, that you feel you can take forward in your own momentum and feel okay about it, you know? Secondly, I wanted to chat about asking for support. It's hard. I generally don't tend to ask people questions, like reach out to other artists or just even sort of family and friends, because I don't want them to, I don't want to bother people. I never want to bother people, which is stupid really, because people like to help, you know? I've gone most of this time not asking for anything, so I thought on this occasion I would reach out and ask a couple of friends. So the first one that I reached out to was a friend who has done craft fairs before. So I labelled her my craft fair guru, and I asked her if she could just tell me sort of any tips that she had. She was so kind, so helpful, and she really helped me feel a bit more settled in myself about things like knowing that it's okay to worry about all these things, that it's totally normal to be a little bit freaked out. She helped me out with a few kind of display bits and some tips about how to display things well. So yeah, it was super helpful to have somebody just to ask those little questions to, and even if they don't have all the answers, just having that kind of conversation support is really helpful, and it makes you feel a little bit more settled, because when you're dealing with just everything in your own head, that's when everything gets quite loud. So if you can find someone to reach out to, then it really does help. And of course, if you don't have anyone you can think of that has done a craft fair, I'm no expert, but if you want to reach out to me, then you can. You can DM me on Instagram, you can contact me through my website. Just feel free to reach out, and if I can help and if I have an answer, I will be happy to share it. The other person I reached out to was a friend who I asked if they could come and sit with me for the day in my craft fair. I knew it was going to be a bit of a boring day for them. So I put that out there up front. I said, you don't have to, you really don't have to, don't feel obliged. But luckily she said that she would come, and it really did help me. I find it so difficult to walk into a room full of people I don't know. But when I've got somebody there who does know me, it makes me feel a lot more grounded, and I'm able to look outside myself that little bit more and try and engage a little bit better. She did a stellar job. She helped me carry the stuff in, she helped me with my display, we sat together, and in all the quiet moments we had somebody to chat to, you know. Lastly, with asking for support, I really did not want to advertise this fair. I know that's insane. I didn't want to put it and let anybody know who is local who could come because I was just a little bit freaked out about the whole thing, that I kind of thought, oh no, I sort of want to do it on my own and I don't want to see people. So it took a lot of effort from my rational brain to push through and put a post up on Facebook where more of the people I know locally kind of might see it. It took an effort to do that, which is, I know it's ridiculous. I do understand. And of course you have to kind of advertise these things and push them out. You need to tell people where you are, but like, it's hard. It is hard to say, hey, come see me. So if you feel like that, I get it. I totally get it. But I did do it. I pushed through, I put it out there, and on the day, some friends did come, and it was actually really nice. It was really the only reason that I sold anything. But I am so grateful for that, because they helped me break even on my costs, and it was just so kind of them to give up some of that their time to pop along and just give me a smile and a bit of encouragement, and to say, you know, hey, the stall looks really good, well done, kind of thing. As much as I completely understand why you may not want to tell anybody you're doing it or advertise what you're doing, because that's how I feel most of the time, it is still nice to know that there are people out there cheering for you. One helpful thing that I found was being as organised as I could be before the actual day arrived. So I booked it a good couple of months in advance, so I had plenty of time to be able to, at leisure, go around shops, mooch about, try and find different things for my display that might be useful without feeling like I need it right this minute. Also gave me time to look up things like the insurance that I needed, and just to generally feel like I wasn't rushed with it. I bought myself a big box that I knew would be big enough to more or less fit most of my products and display items in, but that also I could get my arms around and physically lift it myself to be able to transport it there easily, and that I knew would fit in my car. I did practice runs of laying out my table, trying different displays out, seeing what worked best at which sort of height or where I wanted to put things. I made sure I liked the general look of what I did, and every time I did a layout, I'd take a photo of it so I could remember exactly where I'd imagined things should go. Practicing like that was really helpful, and it helped get things into my mind a little bit better. I will say that even though I did all that and I took photos, on the day, yes, I still went into a slight panic. It wasn't panic, it was just, I was very aware of time ticking in the hour that we had to set up. So I was, yeah, I was very hot, very red, and I was a little bit flushed, just trying to figure everything out. And I sort of forgot everything in that moment of, was I going to put this in this box? What was I going to put in this box? But what I had done is I had stuck a lot of my prices and item names onto a lot of the boxes that I was going to put things in beforehand. So as I took those boxes out, I could immediately go, okay, that's what goes in there. And even if I don't know where to put it, I can refer back to the photo that I've got on my phone to know exactly where everything goes. So yeah, organise everything, plan everything, feel like you know it inside out, and hopefully that makes you feel a little bit better going in. It doesn't stop every worry, but it does help. Right, so this is at the core of being an awkward trader. What do you do with yourself? What do you do with this? With your body? Where do you put it? So questions come into your mind like, should I stand up? Should I sit down? Should I look at the customer? Should I look away from the customer? Should I smile and try to engage? Will that freak them out? Should I talk to the other traders who are around me? Or should I let them get on with their stuff because they don't want to be bothered? Like, so much awkwardness. It is very easy to overthink what on earth you're supposed to do when you're standing behind your stall. And as a customer, I am very much, when I go to a craft fair, I very much do not make eye contact unless I am willing to engage, to talk, and possibly to buy. So if I'm going past a stall and I really don't feel like I am going to buy something, or that it's not really my thing, then I won't make eye contact. And if I do, I'll literally just kind of smile and turn my head away immediately. So I completely, and that's just because as a customer I'm awkward. Like, I don't want to raise any expectations, I don't want to dash any expectations, so I kind of just play it like, just like enjoying the fair, thinking about stuff, and I'm just smiley, but I don't say anything very much. So as an awkward customer, I understand that as a trader on the other side of the fence. And as an awkward trader, I find it difficult because it is hard to know exactly what to do. So I kind of think when I'm a customer and I see people just sitting, sort of staring into space at their stall, I do kind of think, I probably won't kind of go to that stall because, I don't know, I feel a bit awkward about the fact that they're just sitting there staring into space, I guess. So as a trader, I thought, okay, I'm going to make sure that if there's anybody even vaguely sort of in the vicinity of my stall, I'm going to be standing up, trying to look at least like I'm actively involved in this stall. But also, when they get close enough to, if there is eye contact, to literally just say, hey, good morning, and then leave it. I'm not going to push anybody to engage with me because, again, I know how it feels from the customer kind of side of things, but I want them to know that I am there and able to chat to them if they want to. So, isn't it tricky to kind of get the balance right? I ended up doing this kind of like hover behind my stall and I tried to say sort of hello to anybody who would let me say hello, but I also, if somebody was actively not engaging or looking at my stuff but really not making eye contact, I would not push that. And that was why it was also nice to have my friend there, because we could sort of engage and look active together, but not putting pressure on the customer to join in if they didn't want to. I feel like I don't know what the answer is. I don't know whether that's right. I'm just kind of figuring it out as I go. And I don't know, that was what I went with. I did hope to talk to a few more traders than I did, but again, maybe they're as awkward as I am, because it is hard to strike up conversation. Even when I thought it might be easier because we've all got this in common, that we're all in a kind of craft fair environment, but it's still tricky. It's still tricky. So yeah, I managed to kind of go past a couple of stalls and do my sort of awkward smiley hey and I managed to chat to a couple of the sellers, and that was nice because they were super friendly and their stalls were really beautiful, so it was inspiration for future displays. So for your first craft fair, and probably going forward also, I would say try not to judge the success of your experience by how many sales you may or may not get. I went into this very much with the mindset of I'm not going to sell anything. And that wasn't me being kind of cynical or negative, it was just trying to set myself up with the mindset of go into it with trying to just do it with no other expectations. Just the act of being there, putting myself in that environment which felt very much alien and sort of nerve-wracking. The very act of just me being there and doing it was my success. So going into it, I just thought that is the hurdle I need to climb. It's not a massive one. I just need to be there. I need to see the day through. I need to feel like I did the best that I could in that environment. So smile, be friendly, see whether or not anyone's interested in your stuff, but try not to put the weight of the success onto whether or not other people take action with your stuff. Be proud of the fact that you put yourself out there and you gave it a go. I wasn't sure whether or not it would be for me, whether I'd want to do another one in the future, but I thought I needed to put my all behind this one and try my best, see what happens, so that I could really find out whether or not it's something that I could do in the future. I used it as a learning experience. And I think that is one of the best ways to go into your first craft fair if you are a person like me who feels nervous about it and is worrying about it a little bit. If you're super confident about it, then like go for it, go all out, do your thing. We're all different, we all bring different things to the experience, and we just need to take from it whatever kind of lifts us up and makes us feel like we've achieved, you know? Also, another thing to remember is that not every type of fair or market is going to have the kinds of customers that are interested in your particular things that you're selling. And also, not every time of year is going to be conducive to people buying what you're selling. Different factors play in. The craft fair like we were at, it was a very quiet kind of day. People did come in, but it did feel quite quiet, and it was the first weekend of the summer holidays, so probably lots of people had gone away. It was also raining buckets outside, so like why would anybody come out? There's lots of different factors that can play into why the day goes a certain way, and different fair experiences will yield different results. So if you do one and it doesn't quite turn out the way you wanted, it doesn't mean that a following fair would have the same result. The light in here is going mental. It's all over the place. One minute it's super shiny and now it's kind of gone off again. So in summary, would I do another fair? Yes, I would probably give it a go. And now that I have, especially now I have the stuff, I've got display things that I can play with, I have a tablecloth, so I'm set now, and I have the ability to do it at more of a kind of short notice if I wanted to. There's some days when you feel like you can do everything, there's some days when you feel like you really can't. All I would say is that the worries that we put in our heads about things are always far bigger and more scary than the actual experience. So if you're thinking about it, it's never too late. Whatever age, whatever experience level you're at, if you want to try it, give it a go, because you deserve to know that you can. Anyway, thank you for listening to all of this waffle. I hope it was useful and that you vaguely enjoyed it. If you did, please do consider giving it a thumbs up, as it really helps to support this channel and hopefully push some of these videos out further to a few more makers and creatives who can perhaps find it useful. With all that being said, I hope you have a really good day, keep making happy, and I'll see you next time.